You're presenting yourself as the Venus.
I just felt like dudes are coming to the table, so, why not have a little feminine, you know what I'm saying? What do men really think about love? To find out, I have two friends coming to the table. Both are very talented and very different. Actor-director Justin Baldoni is married with 2 kids, but he says it didn't come easily. And Grammy-winning rapper Wale is ready for his perfect match, but is skeptical it will ever happen. Hey, you two!
I should have worn my sunglasses.
We're glowing. We're glowing up too
But
hard.
it's just a energy because y'all are like the same person, but like not, and it's like very powerful. And it's like this table is like glowing.
Aww.
Y'all like X-Men. Black X-woman. Yo.
Thank you. We appreciate it. Today, we're going to be trying to get to an understanding of what love is about. We think we know how to love. That's the thing. We think that we come into relationships, you meet somebody that you really like, and you think that person knows how to love you, and you think you know how to love them. And the truth of the matter is, you have no idea. And the excruciating part about it is really learning what love is and what love's about.
I recently had like a revelation. Like, I really think maybe it's time to have somebody that's a bond with somebody.
Really?
I think because I've been doing all of these things that would be funner to do with somebody that was with me. I just came from Paris. And I'm walking around the streets of Paris. Why am I in Paris? Like, with no, like by myself. Yeah, like what's up with me? Is it me?
No.
No, it is me. It's me. But it's me.
That's important.
It's me.
Yeah.
There's been times that I was really, really in love and it wasn't me. And maybe that shaped it to be what I've become.
Right.
I'm gonna really try to deal with the things that I've messed up with and just try to figure it out because don't nobody want to see nobody just, this always by herself? Like, what the type of weird, is he a vampire or something? You know what I'm saying? I can't do that no more, man.
No, I feel you. Here's what I'll tell you. Just personally in my journey, what I had to realize was that I had to find all the peace, love, and joy within my heart in order to bring it to the table to share. Will had to go away and find the peace, love, and joy in his heart to share so that that's what we share. Instead of our traumas from our childhood, all of our insecurities and fears that we usually come to the table with in our relationships to have our partners fix. I need you to be this thing for me so I don't feel a certain way. Mm-hmm. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put so much pressure on you and find really sneaky ways to manipulate you so that you will always be the thing that I need you to be so that I'm happy.
I was raising my hand, but
what?
Can you run for president of love? But the partnership that you're talking about, that's the goal. That's the light at the end of the tunnel. You know what I'm saying? But in my industry, a lot of times, the wealthiest, most known person in the room is usually the loneliest. I got famous young in D.C., and I seen how women were acting around me. Mm-hmm. And I think it shaped how I viewed women moving forward.
Yep.
So I'm like, okay.
Like if they changed how they were acting towards you.
You gotta understand, you're talking to a rapper, and it's like all I see is promiscuous behavior. All I see is, oh, my man played for this team, and his wife cheated on him for somebody. I'm seeing this firsthand. And then I fell head over heels for somebody in this industry. I seen how vicious it can be and how gutted I was. I was never really the same. Our industry, entertainment, everybody moves on so fast.
Yeah.
We can't even argue. Think about that.
Right.
We can't even argue. We argue. 2 days later, you in Greystone with a 4-string running back.
Right.
Exactly.
So when you talk about girls, young ladies, any conflict, they're gone.
Exactly.
So whoever's wrong, whoever's right, doesn't matter. You can't even reconcile. You're just on to the next one.
Right. Now, this is interesting because I've heard so many women say that about men. That it's not a lot of men out here that want to have
real relationships.
Stick it out and have a real relationship.
Yeah.
Because relationships take work. The best description of marriage I ever got was from a good friend of mine who said, marriage is two people that take a lifetime full of
Yeah.
Preach.
They take two people and you bring your like 25 bags of
Yeah.
right? And then this person brings their 25 bags of it. And then you all put it in this front yard, and that is your foundation for your house. That is, it becomes your fertilizer for which your marriage can grow.
Yeah.
But we're not trained to think about it that way.
Right.
What is love to you? In like 2 sentences.
Sometimes it's really hard for me to talk about it because being at a stage of where you are looking for a relationship, looking for someone to create a foundation with versus someone like myself who has done it for the last 23, 25 years because there's evolutions to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
It's like what you think it is.
Right. And then what it grows to be and what you
Exactly.
learn. So I'm 25 years in, and my concept of love is very different than
what it would be
with
before.
someone looking.
Looking for and ready for are completely different spectrums, though.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
ready.
true.
I'm ready. I'm not looking. Because if I'm looking, I can go to that Starbucks around the corner in Calabasas. What's up, Shawty? You want to love me? Let's
Oh
love.
my God, you want to.
You know what I'm saying?
But see,
that's looking. Ready for is like, I'm ready to love.
I actually love that song.
NDRE, ready to love. Like,
But you know what's interesting is I know a lot of men that are our age that say they're ready, but don't necessarily back it up. And I don't think it's just in the entertainment business or what.
No.
And I think everything that you talked about, your experience as a celebrity, is very similar to the experience that a lot of young women and men are
I
having.
disagree, bro. You know why? If I take out a woman or if I'm kicking it with a girl without anything, there's a part of it that turns into an interview. Like they're so
for
enamored
sure. Yeah, I
with the
understand.
business that I'm in that they're not really seeing me as a person. Even you, you're a celebrity. If you out and you chilling with your
Definitely
girlfriend,
experience that.
and you could tell when somebody's looking at you like a
100%.
woman, and when they're looking at you like a statue.
100%, yes.
Like,
But I
that's-
think what Justin's trying to say is that at the core of it,
At the core of it, it's a human issue that's happening right now. And I think it's
Yeah.
a symptom of, you talked about instant gratification. Thank God
Yeah,
that Tinder wasn't around when I met my wife.
right, so how
Right?
did you meet your wife?
After a year of like just soul searching and patience and trying to figure out my life, coincidentally, she had been through the exact same thing.
Wow.
And we met in the business that way. It was not easy.
Yeah.
And
Nothing
the
is easy,
dating
though.
process,
Nothing is
though,
ever easy.
But
Right,
the dating
dating
process
process.
was at times like painfully horrific.
Yes.
My wife and I, we went deep. It was uncomfortable. We realized we wanted different things at times. We weren't sure if we were spiritually aligned. We were from completely different countries. But I jumped in and I said, this is me. These are my
Right.
flaws. These are my insecurities. Like, this is all of the things that are wrong with me. And she wanted to walk away, and I kept chasing her. Right? So there was a balance. She needed space. I didn't understand what space meant, which, because we worked through it, ended up being the foundation of a beautiful, healthy marriage. But I have so many friends that are ready, that jump into these things, and at the first sign of conflict,
Yes.
they're out.
And I'm going to tell you something. You just
that's
said
social media.
something
That's
really.
social media.
You think
We had
it's the
a
heart of
buffet.
social
We had a
media.
buffet now.
Right.
I don't like the broccoli, man. I'm gonna go try
Right.
the asparagus.
Exactly.
I don't like asparagus, man. I'm gonna just get the potatoes.
Exactly.
Like, it's quick now.
Here,
Bro,
do me a
same.
favor. While this is what I want you to do. Where's his camera? Is this his camera?
I know what you-
okay,
I know what
I
she's
want
gonna have
you.
me
This
do.
is what I want you to do. Because I know you're looking for love. I want you to tell the camera
Exactly
what you want
want.
in a woman. I want to hear this.
That's what I was
I actually
know
wanna
if
hear
you
it
know.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
same.
want to hear if you even know.
I want a woman to show me what I want in a woman. That's what I want.
You don't know what you
Because
want.
I don't know. I want to lead it. Like women, I believe their intuition is stronger than men's. Period. Their
So
intuition.
you
is
want a
stronger.
woman to be
To tell you
the
what you want.
Y'all
unlocker
didn't
of
let
your
me
soul.
finish. Y'all didn't let me finish.
Okay, go ahead.
Be my friend for real. Like loyalty is very important.
Loyalty,
And
okay.
understanding, because I am not a regular man, for better or worse. My bad is bad. My good is amazing.
So
Cool.
you need someone
To understand
be
that I'm crazy,
patient.
pretty much.
Right, to be patient with. You're crazy, so you want a woman.
But that's loyalty, but it's also somebody who's bringing something to the
to
table.
the table,
Well, he
whether
says-
emotionally or other.
Right. Not just somebody that's going to be take.
I've been stabbed in the back by people that I grew up with.
I know.
So
Yeah,
let
I
alone
know.
somebody that I'm just meeting.
I get it.
Or let alone as somebody that know that our first dates feels like an interview.
It's an emotional desert out here. People think that love equals satiating all of their pain.
Right.
The tragedies that they've been through in their life, it's like a little puzzle.
Right.
Like
And love is
how
going
you're
to
supposed
fix it.
to satiate.
Even from like daddy issues, from being left abandoned. And
But here's the thing: it's the facade of love too.
Yeah.
And the sacrifice, when you love someone and continue to love them, the sacrifices each of you have to make, nobody mentions that part.
Let me tell you. Nobody talks
Sacrifice,
about the
compromise.
sacrifice, the deterioration and the dissolving of fantasies
That's the real part.
and idealism.
Can you elaborate on the dissolving the fantasies?
So you right now
Right.
have in your mind
Right.
your perfect woman, okay? And when you find that woman, she's gonna be a goddess to you. But here's the thing, I always feel like we fall in love with the goddess or the god within that person. And then when we actually meet the human being, then we gotta learn how to love that one. And this is when, the reason why it's so important to me to be able to stick it out is because to really get to the true meaning of love, in my opinion, it is unconditional. It has to be, because we are all too flawed.
Like it can't be.
No matter how much work we do,
No matter how much, it never ends.
it
Right.
never
It ends the
ends.
day that we leave this planet.
Exactly.
How about somebody who's learned your buttons, right? And like now they rocks off by pushing every single one of them. You gotta go. You gotta go because this person has learned me for the wrong reasons. You're gonna be with somebody, they're gonna learn what to push regardless.
Yeah.
Some people use it for the worst. Some people like, oh, I know his buttons.
But let me tell you
then you-
something. That's the stuff you gotta work through. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's not
right
that's nothing
there.
joy. That's nothing
But
nothing
here-
blissful about that.
But no, whoa.
not-
Who said that relationships and love and marriage
then why
have to
you in
always
it?
be blissful?
Then why you in it?
See, this is the misconception right here.
Why you in it? Why you
This
in
is
it
the
if it
You
ain't?
wanna answer that?
misconception. No, I'm gonna let you answer.
doesn't
Oh
matter.
my
You can
God.
answer
It's a spiritual endeavor. That's the whole thing. I have to look at my trauma, and you're pushing my buttons. That's making me look at my trauma and what I need to work on. And clean up your
Own
own
stuff.
You know what I mean?
Because why
mean,
is she
Why-
pushing those
yeah.
buttons? But
Why
can
are
I
you
tell you
feel
something?
like your buttons are
Everybody
being
got
pushed?
buttons though.
But
First of
here's
all,
the
that
thing.
But that's
yeah.
an opportunity for you to work on,
On
you.
you.
It's not about
oh, I'm
her,
always
it's
working
about
on me.
you.
I always come
And
through
for
with
her
the-
to work on her too.
I feel like this is an intervention now.
Listen.
I feel like it's an intervention now, so I'm just gonna say.
No.
No, go ahead.
Because
You know, relationships mirror.
Yeah.
They show us ourselves. I mean, that's what I've learned.
It's a
And
two.
typically, the things that you don't like about somebody are things that you don't like about yourself.
that's it, though.
You better preach, Cam.
I'm a little numb to all that because of what I've seen in my career, in my life. Like when I feel like you're starting to press these buttons to get something from you, I get numb. I shut down.
I totally can.
And-
I
Yeah.
get that because I think that we have two options when you're in a relationship. You can look at things through the lens of fear, or you can look at things through the lens of love. And I think that every decision we make in a relationship can be boiled down to going down one of those two paths. Either a fearful reaction that comes from a place of lack, that comes from, could be anything, or love, which is like, I'm gonna hold that, or I'm gonna respond to that in a way that isn't my own stuff or my own fear. And what I realized in my own marriage, because I can only speak for myself and what I've witnessed. My parents have been married for 35 years.
Wow.
And by the way, like, their marriage wasn't perfect either, and I got to see that.
When in your life did you start to realize that your parents' marriage had an effect on like you as a man? Because me, I never saw my parents. I'm Nigerian. Both my parents Nigerian, and I grew up very, very Nigerian. My mother was always gone. My father was always driving cabs. So a lot of it come from TV.
Right.
Hyper different. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you can watch Martin and try to understand what a relationship is like when you get older. And then you go home and you don't see your parents even hug, nothing. Honey, I'm home. What is this honey, I'm home y'all talking about? I don't know this. I just see
Right.
come home. It's like a business almost. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Any Nigerian person that's watching this right now understands, like, we love our parents. We love our parents to death. Do anything for our mothers, our fathers. We don't know the dynamic between both of them. We don't know. This dynamic, 3 generations at one table? No way it's gonna happen in a Nigerian household. Like, we're not friends per se with our parents. I could count on one hand how many times I've even heard them say "I love you" to each other, let alone me.
But you know what?
But I know
But that's a huge thing because
Yeah,
you never
I
had
didn't
the
realize that until I
modeling.
turned like 20, 28. I was like, yo. Now
And
I
that's
understand
another-
why I have this like weirdness with like, you know, trust and emotion and listening and all of these things.
But that's the whole thing. Let's say you met a woman, right? And you told her that story. I'm not good with love because I was never taught by my dad how to express it because I never even saw them kiss. Like right
Don't you
then
think
and there.
that would make a difference?
Right there. For women that are watching, you're just
Like, I want to love on him.
just
I want to
and not because but listen,
It's not
hold on.
like
let,
that,
let me
though,
let me just man to man then just tell you something. It is so beautiful to see another guy, especially in your situation as a rapper, be willing to be that vulnerable.
Vulnerable.
You just said, look at how imperfect and flawed I am. Here's all my
Yep.
and that is the best place to start to look for love.
Yes.
But sometimes I like to keep that, like, I know that I'm so damaged in some ways. I don't want to bring that to nobody's crib. I don't want to bring that to nobody's mother.
But you're
Bring
doing it anyway.
We're all
If
doing
I
it.
kind of keep it,
Yeah, we all do it. There's no way around it. I grew up in a single parent home. I didn't see all the time healthy relationships. I had to figure it out too. I came to the table with a lot of pain. I came to the table with a lot of brokenness. And most of all, I came to the table with some hardcore daddy issues. And it made me really angry towards men. I had very high expectations. So I was hard.
Yeah.
I could have ended up with all kinds of dudes. The way I ended up with Will, I had to change my whole perspective because I want you to know something. He was not the dude.
Right.
But I had to change that. I can't ask somebody to be for me what I'm not willing to be for them. And what I realized in my partnership with Will was that I was asking him to be a lot of things for me that I wasn't willing to do for me.
that's heavy.
And sometimes one person's trauma like triggers the other person's trauma. And you get into this circle where no one can listen to each other. And that's something that nobody ever talks about.
Because it's too loud on both sides.
And that was something that my wife and I dealt with.
Right.
Right? At the beginning of our relationship and marriage, my insecurities triggered hers.
Yes.
And then at that point, it's so easy to leave.
Right.
Because you're like, well, we're clearly not compatible.
Right.
What was it about her that made you want to pursue her?
I think it was us together.
Yeah.
There was a deep knowing,
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
right? Even when my ego acted up and said I should leave, I couldn't. And I'll be very honest, before we got married, there was a part of me that right before we got married questioned it.
Yep.
And I went, am I really ready to settle down? I started calling my friends. I wasn't sure. And my friends were all like, you're being an idiot right now. And they told me the truth. And they said, this is your ego talking. And the second I got past that, I found the knowing again. And I was like, yeah, this is my person. So no matter how painful it was, there was something that told me to just stay and to just be steady. Even when I was going through it and sobbing in my room all night long. And I'm saying that because I want everybody to know that. Like you look at my Instagram, you see all of us happy, but I'm very, very clear that there is so much more to marriage than just the smiling photos at the beach and the things that you see.
Look,
Yeah.
I'm telling you, there have been several occasions, okay, where you just had enough
Yeah.
and you want to leave. And I just couldn't. Or Will just couldn't because we knew this is what is
Right.
meant to be, this partnership, no matter what the form it is, you know, because we've had to redefine it, reform it, you know, change it. We don't call ourselves married anymore. We're in a life partnership.
I'm just kidding. Did you see that in your parents?
I definitely did. 100%.
That's gotta be
And,
why you're so what you are.
I mean,
Grounded.
I would just be in the room while they were debating about whatever it is about the world or their emotions or the environment or politics or whatever it was. And I would just always be there watching them and how they talked to each other, watching how they agreed to disagree. And at the end, it's like, you know what? We're not right or wrong. And I allow you your
Opinion.
Exactly. And I feel like watching that over and over again just kind of solidified this idea of like, it's really not about right and wrong. It's about understanding. And once you understand somebody and how they're feeling and what their view is,
Exactly.
you can move on with more ease.
Preach,
Because you
Willow.
have that understanding.
But those are the steps towards love.
Yeah.
Those are the steps towards really building love. And
Like-
it's so freaking difficult and so freaking excruciating. And sometimes you think it's not love,
Yep.
but it is.
If you watch this back, it all sounds so painful. So every time
I
it's
was
like,
thinking about
listen,
that,
listen. I don't want to see this movie, bro.
I get it.
But I'm
get
happy.
it.
I just
get
think
it.
that love is supposed to be like this big, like, okay, I understand you, understand me. You're my balance. You're my anchor. You're my all the things that you say at the altar. Why can't that be the one entity that is bringing you joy?
It should bring you
and
joy at some
undeniable
point.
Why
It
are they
doesn't
mutual-
mean that
but
you don't
hold
have
on.
to work to get it.
I'm scared now.
You should
Well,
be.
then you should be scared.
Biggest question right now. Is it worth it?
It's worth it.
Is it worth it?
It's absolutely worth it.
Why?
Why?
Yeah, why?
Because at the end of the day, to know that you have
I want
another
to know what you
person that can love you for all that you are. Will has loved me through the worst of myself, and I have done the same. When somebody can love you in that way, it makes your faith in the world come together in the way of which is like, I am, this is, and all is well. I'm 47 years old, and I want you to know that this is probably the first year of my life that I can say I am happy. Because that's how long the journey's been.
If that journey is too bumpy for some people.
Let me tell you, that's real talk. But here's the one thing I want you to see too. You are learning how to love. When you think about all that conflict that you have within your spirit, it's almost like being in kindergarten of love. And you want to get to like a PhD.
It's like climbing a mountain. It's like do the work and then you see the beauty.
Yeah. Please hear that.
That was crazy.
Yeah. Thank you for
Climb
that.
the mountain, see
Thank
the
you for
beauty.
that.
Wow.
I want to thank you guys for this conversation.
This was one of the most interesting red tables
Yeah,
I've
this was
ever been to.
interesting.
It's like almost going to see a shrink on camera.
High five, Wale.
The ultimate, like, God. Oh, man. Next time I find somebody that's working.
I think maybe you got to go a little.
Hey, Red Table Talk family. Head to our Red Table Talk Facebook Watch Show page. Join the conversation and become a part of Red Table Talk.